Hi, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate the invitation. My name is Jeff Bean. I'm a police officer with the village of Woodridge. I've been a cop here 20 years this past January, so I've done a lot of different stuff throughout the course of my career. You start off in patrol and you're all excited to be the police, and you get a speeding ticket and you're happy, and then you move on and realize there's way more to it and a lot more fun things to do. So I spent some time in the drug and the gang unit, the tactical unit. I spent the majority of my career working with juveniles. I'm the school resource officer at our junior high here. Thankfully, Woodridge, although is a large town, we do not have a high school, so I'm grateful for that. Most of our kids get farmed out to Downers North, South, Bolingbrook, and a Naperville high school. But I'm the resource officer at the junior high. I've spent the majority of my career working with the kids in the schools and working on school safety. I also own my own business on the side called Safe Schools for All, where I do sessions like this to school staff members. I do security assessments in school buildings, and I train faculty and staff on a bunch of different topics. Just got the ALICE training not too long ago, just under a year now. And we got sent to ALICE, myself and another officer. I went first, he's going second. And the purpose of it at the time was we had already, prior to the Aurora shooting, we already were getting calls from businesses saying, can you do some sort of safety assessment for us? Can you do some sort of active shooter training for us? So my supervisors opted to send me to ALICE. I'm not here by any means telling you ALICE is the end-all be-all. I could care less. They just sent me to the training. I find a lot of it very helpful, but there's another program called Run, Hide, Fight that's very similar. I kind of do the McDonald's, Burger King, Coke, Pepsi thing. You just want to have an option-based training, especially in the schools where it used to be turn off the lights, lock the door, and hope for the best. So we have to change the mindset, unfortunately. It's the times we're living in. So I got sent to the training. I've been doing a lot of these at the businesses around the area, and Christy's been on the ball with getting in touch with me, and it's great to see the businesses so concerned about security. I think it's long overdue, and I feel the same way towards schools. We put so much focus and energy on all these other things, and you guys, your number one job here is to sell, right? I'm gonna sell stuff, I'm gonna make a good product, I'm gonna sell it, but we have to keep people safe too. And that's what this is about, so I'm glad you guys invited me. We'll go through this presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions at the end. I'll keep you informed and entertained. So, basically ALICE is one of the original option-based programs, which I think is why my chief opted to send me to this. And again, it's fine. I'm not here selling the product, but they got a lot of good material I'm going to share today. So, this is simply a product of training. If you look at the kids right here, what do you think they were doing at the time? What was the purpose of them sitting like that under a table? Tornado drill. Exactly. We grew up as kids, and they got lucky. I'm old. They used to make us put our head down and put our hands over our heads and sit in the bathroom, and you heard teachers giggle, and you know they just made you sit there longer than they really had to, but whatever. So yeah, this is a tornado drill. Some sort of weather emergency, and the kids do this. This is what they practice. They practice it every single year, their entire life, okay? Take a guess at what this is on this side. Does anybody want to give a shot?
Same thing.
They're essentially doing the same thing. These are college students in the building adjacent to the building where the active shooter attacked Virginia Tech. They were notified there's an active shooter. They were notified there's a man with a gun in the building next door. And this is what college kids did. Because that's what they remember. That's a product of training. They did not evacuate. They did not lock and barricade. They didn't do anything. They didn't know what to do. They said, what do we do? Sit in the corner, stay out of sight, be quiet, wait until somebody tells us it's over. We have to change this mindset, okay? We can't continue to think it won't happen here. We can't continue to think, yeah, but that happens at that place or that town or that event or that school. It happens all over the place. So if you're not trained on what to do, that's what you're gonna do. The most important part of my training, we had about 40 to 50 people in our Train the Trainer for the ALICE class. It was a 2-day class. It was equally divided in 3 parts. 3 parts educators, one part educators, 1 part law enforcement, 1 part business world. So being that I was in the law enforcement part, one of the first things the instructor identified was that I was a cop, and he said, okay, cool, for our first drill, I want your help. We're gonna tell them to go into a classroom and just do a lockdown. And then I want you to go in and just shoot at them with this gigantic, really cool Nerf machine gun. It's kind of very cool. So I went, okay, yeah, sure. So about 15 people were in the classroom. He walked in, and he told me before he walked in, he goes, as soon as I walk out, you walk in. Okay. At this point, we were trained on the 5 steps on how to react and what to do and what our options were. And he went in and he said, okay guys, we're gonna start doing active drills. Give it about 5 minutes because I gotta go talk to the other class. And then when you hear the lockers pound, we'll begin. Okay, does anybody have any questions? You can do whatever you want. You can use any one of the tools we've taught you. All right, cool, just hang with me. It'll start in about 5-10 minutes. As soon as he walked out the door, I walked in and I started to shoot my little Nerf gun. I was able to successfully hit almost everybody in the room with at least 1 round from the Nerf gun. But what I saw really impressed me. What I saw was 3 or 4 people came right at me to stop me. 3 or 4 or 5 people started to throw things. And in the class, they don't give you the staplers and the glue, they give you throwing like Nerf balls. So 3 or 4 people started to throw things. 2 or 3 people went out the back door. Only 1 person in that situation froze and sat still. And she felt awful about it, and we discussed it later, and we talked about it, and we basically said, that's exactly what you don't want to do. You have to do something, okay? The people that evacuated out the back felt guilty. We left, we were like, no, that's fine. You got to safety, you made a choice, you were closer to the back, okay? The people that threw stuff, they're stuck in no man's land, they're in the middle of the room. What do I do? What do I have? I'm gonna start throwing stuff. And the people that attacked me, number 1, were the closest, and number 2, out of the type of people I said were in this training, who do you think were the attackers? The cops. That was not a pleasant sight, seeing 3 grown men with anger in their eyes coming at me, and we had to yell, stop drill, stop drill, stop drill. It worked, it was successful, and it taught everybody some simple basic stuff. You're all gonna react differently. But if you don't have a plan, you're gonna sit like that lady did and not know what to do. We just gotta get you out of that mindset. Whatever you're doing is better than what you're currently doing, okay? Whatever you try is better than what you're currently doing. So just have a plan in your head, and we'll get into a little more detail about that. Okay, ALICE is an acronym, which was good because I taught DARE, so I like acronyms. Alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate. I can't believe you have to say it, but you do not have to do these in order, and I think that comes up in another slide. That's just how they worded it, that's just what they came up with, okay? It's a research-based proactive program, so that's what I like about it the most, is it's used all over the place. It's not just used in businesses or warehouses or schools or hospitals, it's used all over the place, and it's proactive, and it's basically increasing your chances of living through a situation. Here's what ALICE is all about. They kind of started it after 1999, after Columbine. They got together and said, we need to do something different. So they were one of the originators back in 2001. As you can see, other departments, other agencies, other organizations came up with it and started doing things as well. Okay, so the tide is turning, thankfully, over the last 20 years. I still think it needs to turn much faster, which is why I do what I do. But having a plan, having options, that's what we need to go to, as opposed to sit quietly, lock the door, and hope for the best. As you can see, it has a huge footprint all over the United States. It's being taught everywhere, churches, colleges, schools, businesses. And the mindset of it won't happen here, that's what we gotta get rid of. It's just not true. And sadly, we just saw it again in the last 5 days, okay? Speaking from the heart, I have 3 kids. My son is 19, my other son is a senior in high school, he's 17, my daughter's 12, she's a 7th grader. They think, legitimately think, this is going to happen. They don't train for it and say, yeah, we did our drill today. And that's the thing we have to think about, us older folks, we didn't get lockdown drills. My daughter and my son, actually all 3 of my kids, have had these drills their entire life, okay? So they're way more comfortable with it, way more used to it than adults give them credit for, all right? I have detailed discussion once my kids hit junior high. You get out, okay? That's your plan. I don't care what your teacher says, I don't care what your school says, I don't care what your drill is. If it's real, get out. If your teacher gets in your way, knock them down. If kids want to come with you, great. I don't care. You get out, you get to safety, you have a phone, you call us. That's my kids' plan. That's what we're teaching the older kids. Now, when they were in elementary school, I told them, listen to your teacher. Whatever your teacher says is what you do, because you're 8. You don't know what to do, so listen to the adult. But once you hit junior high, they're thinking on their feet already. They're planning for this. They think it's going to happen. And one of the most telling ones, Santa Fe, the shooting almost 2 years ago now in Texas, they did the classic reporter, catches the kid that goes to the school, live feed. Here we are on scene. What's your name? Okay, you're a freshman. Wow, okay. He asks all the questions. She's answering all the questions, and he ends the interview like we know he will. Boy, did you ever think this was going to happen here? And this 14-year-old girl looked him stone-faced, didn't change her expression. Yes. That's how people think now, okay? I have family and friends calling me after this last incident. Should I do concealed carry? I've never carried a weapon. Should I be armed? What if I go to these concerts? What if I go to these events? I don't know what to tell you, okay? I'm not here to say everybody needs to be armed, and I'm not here to say take all the guns and shoot them to the moon. I don't know. That's a much higher pay grade for me. All I try to do is tell the people I care about and the people I train, you yourself have a plan. You, your company, have a plan. What I'm training here does not apply to a school. What I'm training here does not apply somewhere else. That's why we did a walkthrough prior to this. You may have seen me walking around. I did an on-site assessment. I said, okay, this looks good, change this, modify that. Your staff is on the ball with this stuff, okay? So what I'm teaching today applies directly to you, okay? It doesn't apply to the warehouse across the street. They need to do it themselves. And again, we talked about how it happens everywhere. It's unfortunate, but that's the times we live in. Another thought, it takes a lot of time to hurt people. Also not true. We just saw that on the incident in Dayton. Officers were on scene and are claiming they engaged the active shooter and stopped him in 1 minute. 1 minute, and we still had double-digit numbers. That's 1 minute, okay? That's the truth, okay? It doesn't take a long time. The fact, based on all the research Alice did on active shooters, is the bad guy fires a shot every 4 to 15 seconds. He's hitting a target 50% of the time. Of the targets he hits, 50% die, okay? So if you fire 10 shots, you're hitting 5 people, 2 people, 2.5 people will not make it, okay? So it's a 50-50 ratio. But these guys are pretty accurate, and we're gonna explain why in a little bit longer. It does not take a long time, especially when they come prepared. And no matter what people talk about mental illness, and again, I'm not gonna here debate that and say what causes what, okay? They think it through, they have a plan, they come here with a specific goal, they're prepared and they're ready. This isn't, I just got fired, I'm walking to my car, hey, I keep a gun in my car. You know what, I'm gonna go shoot a few people. That's not what happens. They think about it, they plan it out. The incident at the Walmart in El Paso, that bad guy drove 9 hours to get to the scene. To me, could he be crazy? And that's the technical term police use, because we're not doctors. Could he be crazy? Yes, maybe he is. But that's a pretty premeditated thing. I writ my manifesto, I got my weapons, I got my ammo, I'm getting in the car, I'm driving 9 hours, and I'm gonna go engage my targets. It's planned out, okay? They're in here, walking in, ready to roll. They're not in here ready to be talked down or ready to be talked out of it. So it happens quick when it happens. Here are some different locations and some of the numbers. They'll just pop up. Unfortunately, like we talked about, they keep happening, and you can see how many are injured and how many have died and all that horrible stuff. My sister lives in El Paso. First off, El Paso, if you're from El Paso, I'm sorry, I've been there once, it's really horrible. But my sister lives there and she works at the hospital, and when I saw this, I immediately got a hold of her, and she said, I'm actually at work, and we're one of the 2 hospitals they're sending the people to. It's horrible. We're on mass casualty alert. I did not know that existed. I got a page on my phone, and I'm okay, thanks for checking, kind of thing. So it just keeps happening, and that's what we're here for. A little more breakdown of Virginia Tech to show why proactivity is a lot better than turn off the lights and hoping for the best. Room 210, no classes, it was empty, no worries. Room 206, they responded passively. The red numbers indicate the dead or injured. 2 injured, 10 dead. The green number indicates they survived. They were not hurt at all. Room 204, they were proactive. Professor Lebrescu, a hero, absolute 100% hero, went and self-barricaded the door by himself and told the kids, jump out the window. It was on the 2nd floor. He encouraged the kids to jump out the window. If I remember correctly, there was a student that was active military, and he assisted as well, getting people to jump out of the window. They were proactive, they barricaded the door, and the professor himself gave his own life for that. But as you can see, 14 people were not injured in that situation. And people say, well, I'm not going to jump out a 2nd floor window. Yeah, you will. Well, what if I fall and break my ankle? Then you get up and you limp away. That's exactly what you do. And that's what schools, it's really hard for the schools when I'm trying to tell them, especially in a 2nd floor classroom for 5th graders. Jump. I'm going to have a 10-year-old jump out the window. Yes, you will. Hang, drop, land, get up, limp away. You'll be in the hospital getting your ankle fixed. The end. You'll go home. Okay? So it's amazing what kind of mindset takes over when you're in these situations. Room 211, very passive. They just laid down on the floor and hoped for the best. 12 of them got killed. Room 205, extremely proactive. They had enough time. They had a complete door barricade. Nobody got injured at all. Okay? Look at where the other rooms are. 207, 211. These are very close to 205. It's not like it was way down the hall somewhere or across the building somewhere. But they just took action. They didn't just sit and be confused and not know what to do. They had a plan. So, we talked about all this stuff already. It's not sequential. It certainly increases your odds of survival. It's research-based, and it's assuming every event is not the same, which is very, very important. And when I leave here today, if you're going to practice any kind of drills, the drills don't always have to be crazy guy with a gun. Okay? The drills can be pain in the neck truck driver. You know, he's all upset because somebody took his bay or whatever it is. It could be an unhappy customer at the front door. You know, it can be ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband who's coming here to confront his wife about something. There's all kinds of situations that can happen. So every event is different. That's why we don't do some universal rule like do this and now you're done. You have to have option-based. The alert. This is not, unlike what most people believe, this is not the part where you call 911. The alert is when you personally are alerted to whatever the problem is, whatever the threat is. You have to listen to it. You have to trust your gut. Okay? Bad guys, you know, hearing gunshots, hearing screaming and yelling, these are clues, guys. All right? And to me, I'm not going to be the one that goes screaming and yelling. Huh? You hear that? Wow, let's walk all the way down there and see what's going on. Nope. Okay? We joked about it like horror movies. The person that always falls and, you know, hurts their ankle, and you're like, no, I'm not going to stay and help you. I'm sorry. He's right there. You know, when you hear the alert, when you know it's happening, trust it. Listen to it. Okay? You got to start taking action quickly. We get it a lot of times. Hey, fireworks complaint. Okay. It's 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. Fireworks complaint. You show up. You sure it was fireworks? Now that I'm talking to my neighbor because they heard it too, it could have been gunshots. I'm not sure. Okay, well, number one, at least you recognized it and called the police. Good for you. All right? But when you hear the loud bang, 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 and you don't have to be trained, that's another issue I have with a lot of the schools that are like, yeah, we want to fire the gun and let the kids know what it sounds like. You're stupid. But that's them, okay? Trust me, being around guns as long as I have, when you hear the pop, 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 you're going to know that's something. You don't need to know specifically what. Just know, whoa, that doesn't sound good. What's our plan? Let's start doing something about this, okay? Texting an emergency notification, that's great. PA announcements are huge. I actually did not bring that up during our walk, but being able to communicate, are you guys able to communicate from the warehouse into the office?
We have a page system, and for the warehouse, I believe Tony has one in his office.
Okay.
Also on all the office employees, it is in your phone. Anyone can page out to the office. If you guys don't know how to do that, please come up to either Mike or I, or Jeff, or Amy, and we will be more than happy to show you guys how to use that.
Yes, and that goes, we talked about that during the walkthrough as well. There's a lot of things in place that schools and businesses and sometimes employees and staff, they just don't know it. Like, oh wow, we can do that, or we have that capability, that's great. Another thing I would suggest that we talked about at another facility, and it may or may not apply here, you guys are much bigger than the facility I'm talking about, but being able to notify, okay, the bad guy came in the warehouse. Having a panic button of some sort in a central location. It doesn't have to be on a phone in an office. It can be on a big pole in the middle of the warehouse. You know, however you want to do it. Where we know in the office area, when somebody hits that button, it's something really bad. It's not a man hurt his ankle. It's not there's an argument or it's something really bad happened. Having some sort of panic button to alert warehouse and office to each other, as opposed to we give them an actual scenario. We don't do that to the elementary school kids. We don't need to. When they're that young, they're going to listen to the adult. So we don't need to run our kids through live actual drills when they're that little. In our junior high, we modify it a little bit. In our junior high, the kids are older, they're more prepared, they're thinking on their feet, they probably have their own plan. So at our junior high, what we do is the teachers know the drill's coming, the kids know the drill's coming, the teachers prepare the kids, and then we change it up every year. So the first year we did it, there's a man with a gun in the office, there's a man with a gun in the office. And we say it like that. Because when you do it for real, you're going to be like, attention, this is Mrs. Jones, principal's office. There's a man with a gun, so everybody needs to lock down. You're not going to say that. You're going to say whatever it is. And you may swear, and you may scream, and you may cry. So we need to make it real, emotionally, connect with those kids, and this is serious. We know it's a drill, we know you know it's a drill, but listen to the voice, listen to the thing, how specific it is. Then the next year we charited it up and we said, there's an unknown intruder in door 9. He entered door 9. Now they have to think on their feet. Where is my classroom related to door 9? Do I stay here because I'm close to door 9 and locked down, or can I evacuate? And then we leave it up to the teachers and the kids to make the determination on what to do. And it's been going very, very smoothly, really well. And to their credit, during the tabletop after, a teacher will go, honest to God, I've been here 2 years, I didn't know where door 9 was. You know, we did the walkthrough today, and you guys have rooftop access. And it's like, I wonder if that's locked or not locked. Well, it's not like you go up there all the time. So the trainings and the tabletops and things like this, bring that stuff to the mind. And teachers said, I had 3 kids in my class say door 9 is by the band room, that's where I go for the bus. So students were telling the teacher and helping them. So doing these scenarios, it definitely helps, and using clear language definitely helps. So get away from code words, we don't care. Law enforcement will respond, we don't know what a code blue is, but we certainly know what, the guy we just fired came in and he's got a gun, he was in the warehouse. We know that, okay? I don't need to hear code blue for that. Next one. This one's lame, we'll skip through it. We'll get one later. All right, the L, lockdown. Lockdown is still a very smart, very safe thing to do. We're not getting away from it by any means. We're just saying there are other options too, okay? So locking down, you want to barricade the door if possible. You don't want to all hide in one spot. You want to spread out throughout the room, staying out of sight, okay? So if 8 people can go here and 7 people can go there, great. When he looks in, he can't see anybody. Just being separate will help. The reason you want to be separate is because you're changing his OODA loop, and we're going to get into that in a little bit more, but think about all the tragedies that have happened. Think about Columbine. Has anybody, raise your hand if you ever saw a video of Columbine from the library? You remember what he did? Boom. Boom. They were just sitting targets. They were all in one spot. He didn't have to run around. He didn't have people running that way and running that way. His attention was narrow and focused because they allowed it to be, okay? When a police officer walks into a room, if we're going to clear a room at a school, for example, we have 2 of us are going to enter. At least 2 of us are going to enter. When we enter, we split immediately, okay? And we have to train this. When we first started training rapid response a long, long time ago, a guy would, the first through the door, would see the bad guy and go, bad guy, stop, boom, 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 boom. Now it's a one-on-one shootout. We're stuck behind him. We're not even in the room. Then we have to train. Hey, look, you're a great shot and I get it, but when we make entry, you go right, I go left. So then the bad guy has to go, what do I do? Okay? So spreading out is very important when you lock down in a room. Looking for alternative escapes, obviously, very important. Dial 911 once it's safe to do so. First aid supplies are certainly helpful. Our schools all have AEDs. Our schools are now all going to have stop the bleed kits, tourniquets, and we're going to be training all our school staff just starting this year on stop the bleed techniques. Okay, it's very important. Thankfully, the federal government came through with some money finally, for once, and they granted it. And DuPage County School District, or DuPage County Regional Office of Education, got a bunch of free kits, and they're shipping them out to the schools, and our staff is training their staff. So keep those things in mind. Next, when it comes to the barricading, a lot of doors, they look the same. They're very similar. I love doors like that. There's no way to look in and all that stuff, but sometimes you need it. You know, you're in office, you're sales, you're guy, you know, that kind of stuff. You gotta have it, but look at all the doors. There's all different types, and all of them can be defeated. Glass can be defeated. Lots of schools, oh, we want to get that bulletproof glass on the outside. Okay, great. You know, there's other windows, there's other ways into the building. So you have to, if you have financial resources and a budget, you have to do what's appropriate for you, but I would put those on the lower end. Okay? All those are examples of where glass has been defeated. So this is good but not great. Look at that. The door's behind it. You can see it slides open because it opens in because you see the thing on the top of the door. Now when this bad guy gets in, you just created a mess for him. He has a lack of vision on who's in the room. It's going to take several seconds for him to get through that. Is it good? No, he's going to get through it, but you've created time. By creating time, you can allow yourself distance or creating a plan, okay? So that's a lot better than just closing the door and hoping he doesn't come in, all right? This one here, good too. It's good for the vision aspect more so than the barricade aspect. Do you think a bad guy, if that door is unlocked and he opens it, that thing's gonna fall over? Yeah, absolutely, okay? The good part is you've blocked his vision almost all the way up to the top of that little window. So is it a small deterrent? Yes. Does it block vision? Absolutely. Does it allow you time? Does it allow you time to get away or create a plan? Yes, it does. So these are options for you, and it's better than doing nothing. Heavier objects. I've seen some of the glass offices we have, and they're very difficult to be safe in. Unfortunately, what I suggest if you're trapped in an office like that, that's your spot. Maybe put a heavier object closer to the door. So, okay, all the windows were clear on the top and a little foggy at the bottom. Okay, I hear some stuff. I'm just kind of stuck here. It sounds really close. I'm going to lock that door. I'm going to push that huge file cabinet in front of it, and I'm going to lay down on the ground right on that window, the foggy window. So he's going to walk by, first glance, he doesn't see anything, office is locked, closed, whatever. Hopefully it keeps moving. Is it going to save the world? No. But it's going to do a lot better than just sitting in that room looking at him through the window. Okay? So heavy objects certainly help. What the training does is you learn how to do things. So this was an actual situation. As you can see, they turned 2 tables, so that's good for vision. More importantly, they got straps and ropes. Now, I don't know what kind of room they were in, but they had access to these things, and they're sealing the door, okay? Nobody's going to open that door if you have 2 strong people holding all these ropes. It's not going to happen. They're going to tug and tug and tug, and you're going to be holding on the other side, and you're out of sight, and you're out of vision, and they can't just go, okay, you're there, boom, boom. They can't do that. Tables are blocking vision, doors are locked and secured, and then you're barricaded. You can do that in an office. You can use a computer cable. In the warehouse, there's tons of stuff you can do out there, probably. Okay, find what you got. Worst case scenario, a belt. You cinch the belt around this doorknob, for example, and I know I'm not supposed to go outside the silver area, but I will focus on it. Like around this doorknob, you just wrap the belt to the cable of the cord right there, and you just crank back on it. You're not in the line of fire. Every time he's trying to open it, you're cranking back. He's got to move on, okay? Unless that's the only place the bad guys are, or unless that's specifically where his target is, that's the guy that fired me, I'm getting into this office, that's my plan. If his plan is just to do as much damage as possible, he's going to tug on that door a few times and move on. You created time, okay? You created distance. So barricading is a huge thing. Don't just lock the door and move to the side and turn out the lights. Here's some other examples of it. Again, straps, computer cords, belts, whatever you need. I told the story at the training at the movie theater. Our Alice training was at the Naperville Central High School, and whoever the Spanish teacher is probably really mad because they came by and said, okay guys, we're gonna do a barricade. There's 12 of you in here, you're in your room, this is your room, when we hit the alarm, you barricade. Okay, cool. They hit the alarm, we barricade, we turn off the lights, we lock the door. One of our guys says, hey, that big desk, it has wheels. Perfect. 3 big strong men grab that big desk on the wheels and we roll it over, and then you heard a bunch of noise and lots of stuff was plugged in, but whatever. Ours was the best barricade. Now the teacher had to deal with it when the school year started, but we weren't there. Whatever you need to do, all those computer cables, you can seal them, wrap them around, whatever you got, you can use. Next is inform. This is when you're calling 911, okay? You want to do it from a safe place. It's a continuation of the alert, obviously. Be as specific as you can. Okay, if you can communicate with others in the building it's happening, do that. So if 3 of you run out, you can be like, I'm calling 911. I'm going to make a PA announcement off my phone. I'm going to make an alert off my phone. Okay, you're doing different things. So notifying people and getting the help coming, that's what the inform part is. Sharing as much information as you can. You guys have an IT room here. It's sealed, it's closed, and it has a camera system. Your IT guy, he's like, yeah, we got an outside line in there, it's perfect, okay? That's great. You can fit as many people in that room as you can. You have a live camera feed, you're calling 911, you're barricaded, you're closed off, okay? The informing is once you're in a position of safety, okay? Do not inform until you are safe. Get safe first, then you're informing. As we talked about the play-by-play announcer, if I'm driving here, lights and sirens, I'll just give you a simple breakdown of how stuff works. When you call 911, they get the ball rolling quick, okay? If we have a good dispatcher, it's gonna be this. Woodridge units, armed intruder at the Gerber. Woodridge units, there's an armed intruder at the Gerber, 2500 International. That's it, that's all they say. We start coming. The lights come on, we're flying down Woodward Avenue or wherever we're coming from. As we're arriving, we're getting more information because the dispatcher's trained on what to ask, okay? When you guys call 911, when anybody calls 911, you're not in a good mood. Scared, hurt, angry, upset, unsafe, whatever it is. You're gonna start spitting out whatever you need to spit out. The most important tip I can give you whenever you have to call 911 in any situation, dial the numbers, shut up, and answer their question. That's it. That's the best thing you can do. And I can't tell you how many times you get people, there's a car accident, it's unbelievable, I can't believe this guy. Just rear-ended me, I was sitting at the light. Man, where's the car accident at? Oh, we're at 75th, we're right by the highway. Okay, 75th and 355, do you know what direction you're traveling? We're by the highway. Look, now he's getting out of his car. Yeah, hey buddy, I'm already calling the... Ma'am, answer the questions. The faster you answer the questions, the faster we get to you. So I know what you want to say in your brain, but call up and go, I work at Gerber, I'm across the street, there's a man with a gun there. Okay, now they're gonna ask the questions. As we get closer, we're gonna get former employee, male white, he's in the main entrance of the building. He's wearing jeans and a flannel. Good. Now I'm getting closer and I have more information. I knew there was a bad guy with a gun. Now I know he's at the front of the building and what he's wearing. I don't need a ton of stuff. We don't need to know that he used to work here and we fired him and we brought him back, but we had to fire him again because he tried it. We don't need to know all that. We find that out later. So when you call, listen to the dispatcher, give them the information they need that will get us here faster and give us the info we need. Counter. This is the part that scared off a lot of people about the Alice program, and it scared me off about a decade ago. Counter is where we're going to defend ourselves. We're going to do something. We're trapped. Nothing we can do. Okay? We couldn't evacuate. We locked down and barricaded. He got in. There's no other doors in here. Bad guy's coming in now. What are we going to do? When I first saw the Alice training video, they legitimately showed me, not to pick on the state, but they legitimately showed me 3rd grade kids from Oklahoma, like, uniting in a classroom when the bad guy comes in and they all start throwing things and grabbing legs and arms. And I'm watching this and I'm like, we're not doing this. What is this? So we even brought it up. So you're telling me we're going to train 3rd graders to attack a shooter? And he was like, well, it doesn't have to be all the 3rd graders. Oh, so we're going to have like a 3rd grade SWAT unit. Okay, you figured that out at the beginning of the school year? So Alice has learned from their trials and errors. That's why they keep researching it and doing more stuff. We're not encouraging kids to attack bad guys anymore. We're not encouraging you guys to attack bad guys anymore. All we're saying is, this is it. It's the worst case scenario. What are you gonna do instead of cry and sit still or beg? Okay, you're gonna counter. A lot of women in the training said, this is the part I'm worried about. I can't do this. A 6'2" guy who's angry with a gun comes in, what am I gonna do? And we actually demonstrated it. We got one of the bigger guys in the class, and we had 5 women in the room, and he had his Nerf gun, and he came in, and they knew he was coming in with the Nerf gun, and they were told exactly what to do. He got several shots off. 2 of the 5 women were hit, but they were able to, after about 30 seconds, they each had arms and legs. Other women were throwing the Nerf balls. They stopped him from actively shooting in less than 30 seconds. These women who were half his size. So we're not telling you to be Batman, catch the bad guy, tie him up, and call the cops. And yeah, he's tied in the warehouse, we got him. We don't need that, okay? We just want you to get out of that situation as best as you can. It's not winning the fight, it's getting out, okay? So if your counter is simply throwing your water bottle at me and flipping over the table, and as you run by, kicking the chair towards me, that's counter. He's gone now. The water bottle distracted me, I came at him, he flipped the table, I jumped back, he threw the chair, he's gone. Now I'm gonna turn my attention to whoever's left, okay? That's a counter. You don't have to win the fight. You just have to survive and get out of there, okay? Distraction techniques are huge. We're gonna get into that in just a minute. Keeping it simple, okay? That's all you have to do. We're not in here, there are people that have high level of training, there are people that have a low level of training, there are people that have no training. Just keep it simple. Whatever your basis of knowledge is, do it, okay? If you're good with your hands and you know how to defend yourself, great. If you don't, you got all kinds of stuff. Hitting me in the head with that phone, is it gonna stop me? No. It's gonna stop me for a second though. It's gonna cause me some pain. It's gonna create time, create distance, which is all we're trying to do, to give you guys an opportunity to create a plan. Taking back control, and again, it's a personal choice. Some people aren't gonna do it. Some people are gonna run out, that's fine. Okay, whatever it is you're able to do it. So we want to interrupt the target process, and this is what I talked about, the OODA loop thing. When I talked about why they're so accurate. When the police come to a hostile situation like that, our hit rate's 30%. 3 out of 10 shots, we're making contact with a bad guy. It's not a very good percentage. Unless you're a baseball player, that's 300 and you're an all-star. The skill level for the bad guy is a lot lower than our skill level, typically. But he's hitting at 50%. And it goes back to the why. His victims are not shooting at him. His victims are not fighting back. His victims are not attacking or running or fleeing. They're hiding. They're sitting right there in one spot. So when I shoot them, I got a good accuracy rate because they're not doing anything about it. When we come find the bad guy, he's doing something about it. He's shooting at us. He's engaging us. He's actively trying to avoid us or kill us. The Aurora incident, I talked to several people. I was in the training literally days after the Aurora incident. Several of the SWAT guy members were in this training. And one of the Aurora officers was in the training. And she was not a SWAT person. She was on the outside setting up the perimeter. And she said, we actually thought it was over in about 10 to 15 minutes. It wasn't. There was an active ongoing gun battle for almost 30 minutes in that business between the police and the bad guy. He was hiding, he was engaging them, he was running, he was relocating. So it's not easy for us, okay? So that's why that relationship happens. You guys, the targets, by changing your mindset, you're making it more difficult for him. And this is why counter works. You're changing his mindset. My focus is, I know they're having a big training in there. All I gotta do is go in and shoot the cop first. He won't see me coming, I'll stick my hand around the corner, boom, got the guy who has the gun. Now, some of you are gonna be able to get out real quick, but I got a bunch of sitting targets. Yay, yay me, that's what I'm gonna do. I got a target-rich environment, and they're not doing anything but crying or trying to hide under a table. If all of you are doing something, escaping, throwing things, attacking him, whatever it is, you're gonna make a difference. You're gonna change his OODA loop. If you're just pointing at a simple target and you're shooting at it, it's a lot easier than when it starts to move. Just common sense. So we'll show a quick video so you can understand what it means. Here's taking back control. Just watch this video real quick. And so I'm Some of you may recognize it, some of you may not. Okay, for those who did not recognize that, that was the assassination attempt on former President Ronald Reagan. The video is a minute long total. Did any of those trained Secret Service law enforcement officials use a weapon to get the bad guy? No. They were up close and personal. They swarmed him, okay? They took down the shooter in less than 20 seconds without a weapon. They attacked, they surrounded, they grabbed him, they each got an arm, they each got a leg. Then you started hearing them. Get him out of here. Meaning the injured victim, the president. Get him out of here. Then they started to secure the scene and look for secondary threats. You saw guys with their back to the pile, looking around, weapons out. Okay? Those are trained individuals, they're experts at what they do, and they did a phenomenal job in that situation. The reason I play that is not because I expect you to be trained to that level at all. But I showed that to you to show you that an armed gunman can get taken down without a weapon. You just swarm them. Now, did people get hurt? Yeah. Unfortunately, bad things happen. But they eliminated that as quickly as they possibly could have, okay? They took back control. This exercise will give you an example of how the counter can work and how important it is. I'd like you to count the dots you see. Anybody know how many dots you saw?
11.
11, very good. Let's do the same drill. We're adding more dots. Try and count these. Heard a couple sighs and some snickering. Does anybody get a guess?
22.
26.
20, 21.
Somebody's close. You're both very close. The 21s are very close. There's 11 of each. There's 22 total. 11 yellow, 11 blue. Raise your hand if after about 3 screenshots you stopped paying attention because they just started popping up all over the place. Yeah. Okay? Yes, that's the point of it. So, let's watch one more and then we'll explain. Count the dots. It's much better when I louder and pick one person and have to stare at the screen, which they did in our training. Great. Some poor woman. Here, sit right here. You look at the laptop, okay? Everybody else look at the projection. It's like, and we turn the volume way up. So, as you can see, the purpose of this is simple, okay? If there are 11 targets and they're randomly stationed throughout the room, you can find them pretty quick, okay? When you added more targets and they began moving a little faster, it was a little harder to keep track of them. On that last one, just a few targets and the screaming distraction. Trust me, if someone is running at you screaming, that is a distraction, okay? You're not going to calmly go, this isn't the movies, okay? That person is going to be like, you're going to cause them to move, you're going to cause them to react, you're going to cause them to get off their OODA loop, okay? That's what we call it. You're changing their mindset. They have to react to certain things. And one of the most basic drills they did in the Alice training, which we got right away, they kind of wore on a little too long for me, but they had a young lady stand up and she was a nurse. And they said, okay, here's the Nerf ball. Then we do rely on the other options. But occupants, get out. Okay, and we say they must have the authority to leave the building. That's more geared towards the teachers and the kids, because sometimes teachers and kids are like, well, we're trained, this is where we go for the fire, this is where we go for the... Stop thinking like that. Stop being robots and just get out, okay? And how I stressed it to teachers, well, okay, I'm getting out of my first floor classroom, but we're facing the parking lot. Where do we go? I don't know. What are we supposed to do? The evacuation point's over to the front, but he's coming in the front. Right, so what do you do? I mean, there's the neighborhood right over, good, okay? If you're the second grade teacher and 30 minutes after an active shooter at your school, you take your cell phone out and call 911 and say, my name's Miss Jones and I have 24 students and we're all safe in Bill's garage, good. Was Bill's garage in your safety plan? No. Who cares? You're safe, okay? We will come find you, all right? I don't care what your plan is, and you have to change that mindset. So employees, get out. Get out and get to safety. Is it good to have a reunification point? Sure. You guys got a lot of people in this building. So if something bad were to happen, and we come here and we catch the bad guy or whatever it is and the situation ends, we're gonna find the boss and we're gonna say how many people are in that building today. Oh, 61 employees. Okay, how many people we got? 7 are injured, so that leaves 54. We've tracked down about 19 of them. Okay, let's track down the rest. That's why it's good to have a plan of a reunification. So, for example, if something bad happens here, everybody, guys, please, get in your cars. If you're escaping, great. Go to the movie theater. Go to the movie theater parking lot. Go to the gas station up on the corner of International and Joliet. Check in with somebody. Have a plan. So that way, when we're cleaning up after and we're trying to track everybody down, it's going to help things run smoother. Now, do I really care 100% that your reunification runs smoothly? Honestly, no. We're going to be here a long time anyway. So if you call and say, hey, sorry, I didn't go to the gas station, I'm home. That was crazy. Okay, we got it. He's home. That's fine too, okay? But just to make things run smoother for everybody here, because seriously, think about it. You're going to be concerned about coworkers. You're going to be worried. I made it out. Where's my friend? Where's my coworker? Where's this? I was just with him. So having some sort of reunification plan after the fact will be helpful, but the number one thing is get out. Get out, go somewhere safe, call 911, okay? Evacuate, get out. Don't wait, don't form a team, don't do anything. Hey, I'm getting out. And as soon as I can notify people, I'm notifying people. Get to a rally point. Okay, I've been here a half hour. Nobody's here. I'm gonna call my coworker. I'm gonna text my boss. Hey, I'm at the movie theater. Where's everybody at? Oh, good, you are? Thanks. Yeah, we're on the way. Just the communication, having a plan afterwards, it'll just make things a lot easier after the fact. Okay? So that's basically the gist of Alice. We'll do questions in just a second if you have them, but I do want to see if I can share one video that we created in our training, which will kind of give a breakdown of lockdown, evacuate, etc., etc. So let me find it here. All right. Okay. Conference room meeting. Take a look. These are the actual people that were in my training class. So they're doing a little briefing, a meeting like you guys probably have every single day. We're going to show the actual what happens first, and then we'll kind of do a play-by-play. I'm sorry, the volume's not working that good. I didn't turn it off because I'm not technically savvy. But they heard pop, pop, pop. Okay, so basically what happened there, they're in their meeting, pop, pop, pop. Open the door, oh my God, dude, there's a guy with a gun. That's exactly what he said, okay? So if this is you, looking at the 3 options we have, raise your hand if you would pick counter first. Raise your hand if you'd pick evacuate first.
Well, are there windows in there? I don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
Based on what you saw, raise your hand if you'd evacuate first. Okay, based on what you saw, raise your hand if you'd lock down as your first priority. Okay, good. All right, for the evacuate people, you get the special perks. Why did you pick evacuate?
There was an extra door next to it.
Correct. As you can't see it here, but when they show the first thing we've drawn on the dry erase board, to his right, there's another door. Okay? So we'll go through and play it. We don't need the volume. You have a question?
You know that door is not a closet.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Right. You got to base it on the no. Okay, so first we're going to do counter, since nobody picked that one. Bad guy's coming in. What are we going to do? Boom, there he is. Now they're throwing the Nerf balls, which they gave us, but what you guys would be throwing? Staplers, books, laptops, cell phones, water bottles, chairs, whatever you got. Now look at that. Now I gotta admit, 3 of those 4 people are cops. But they got the subject down, they each grabbed a limb. It took a few seconds, but they were able to detain him. They attacked him, they didn't just stand still, okay? So that's counter. Let's do evacuate, which is what we probably would do to begin with. Okay, there's another, boom, there's a door right there. That's what he said. The guy took a quick peek left and right, they're out. How long did that take? 8 seconds, they're gone. Bad guy can open that door, nobody's there, okay? That's what most people would have done, knowing full well based on this photo, and like you said, knowing that, hey, this is an option to get out. Okay, that's why signage, and we talked about that during the walkthrough, signage is important. You guys gotta know where to go and what to do, what your options are. Now let's look at lockdown. They did a very good job with this. So you got the one guy, he's harnessed the door cannot lock and it opens in. This barricade is more as a distraction than anything else. They're trying to stack, so that way if he does get in, the higher the stack, the better. He's hanging back here, 2 behind him, 2 went down to the end, okay?
Should they have addressed the other door?
Yes, at some point, that's what you have to do. But you address the problem you have in front of you. It's very similar to in the schools now. Well, what if there's a fire alarm? Well, do we evacuate? Because that's happened. Okay. Bad guys in the building shooting, you hear the fire alarm. Do you see a fire? Do you see smoke? Do you smell smoke? I wouldn't worry about it then. Okay? Okay, but what if we get out and there's a friend waiting outside? Okay, and what if there's 9 cops there? You can't what if yourself to death. That's why we gotta keep it simple. So yes, your attention is on this door. After about 20 seconds, I guarantee people are gonna go, what about that door? Okay, I'm holding this one with him. You 2 go over and do something with that door. Okay, so you gotta just deal with it one at a time, what's in front of your face. Okay, so that was just a good little display of how we can do things and how simple it is. Now, any questions, comments, concerns? I'm happy to answer them. If you took nothing else out of this class, I'm sorry, one second. If you took nothing else out of this class, please understand, think on your feet, have a plan. Okay? The last thing I will share, and it's me being the cop, and you don't have to get this detailed, but in my life, when I'm sitting at a red light, while most people are on their phones, I'm thinking on my feet, and I'm going, okay, I'm gonna get, the car in front of me's turning right, that's good, so it'll be out of my way shortly. Oh, that's a big truck coming. I will literally go, what if this car turns right and that truck notches him? That's a big truck, that's gonna be an accident, it's gonna take up the whole intersection. How am I getting my car out of here? Okay, I can back up just a little bit and go through the gas station. Then I'll have to probably park and help, and here's what I would do. I think like that. It's a sickness, but that's what happens when you're in law enforcement for 20 years, okay? Whenever my daughter used to say, when she was real little, she's gonna be 12 soon, when she was real little, she'd say, or she actually asked me, Daddy, do you have a bathroom problem? What are you talking about? Well, every time we go to a restaurant, you always have to go to the bathroom. You should go, like, before we leave the house. Every time we go to a restaurant, Dad does go to the bathroom. That's just my routine. Hey, we're at Applebee's, great, here's my Coke. Order me a Diet Coke, I gotta go to the washroom. I don't go to the washroom every time. Where's the other door? Do I have to go through the kitchen to get out of here? Is there a carry-out door that I can use? Because when me and my family are in the booth and the crazy ex comes in to kill the bartender who just broke his heart, I'm not sitting in the booth waiting. I'm not engaging him, I got my family with me. Me and my family are gonna be gone because I know where to go, okay? You guys have to think like that. You don't have to take it to the extreme I take it by any means, but you know your business. Know where things are, know how to get out, know where to go once you get out, know what you're gonna do if I go and I always evacuate out this door and that door is not available because that's where the bad guy came in, where am I going now? I always use this door. I never go to the front. I never use the stairs. Use them. Look at them. Find it. Okay? And that see something, say something mindset. When you're the first people here in the morning, do you typically see the same cars? Do you typically see the same things? I'm here every day at 6:30. I'm usually the first one here and this is what I see. Okay, great. If you see something out of the ordinary, what do? I pulled in the back lot. I'm the first guy here. I always open the door. I'm the first one in. got my coffee. When I pull in the back lot, if I see a car with 3 people in it, what am I gonna do? Here's what you normally do, and here's what schools and businesses do. Oh, hey, you see the white car out there, the Impala? Yeah, there's like 3 people in it. Yeah, I saw 2 people, that's weird. Yeah, I didn't know if they were here or not. Yeah, me neither. Here comes somebody else. Hey, morning, hey, where did you park? Oh, I'm out front. Yeah, there's this white Impala sitting out front. Yeah, let's look on the camera. Yeah, it's still there. Come 9 o'clock, somebody goes, well, should we just go out and see who it is, or what are we doing? Okay, well now you have 20 employees in the building. And then you make the great choice of, well, we'll see what's going on. Don't do that. When you show up and you're the first one here and that car doesn't belong, call 911. Woodridge Police? Yeah, I work at Gerber, I'm the first one here. Just a little out of the ordinary, it's probably nothing. There's a white Impala here with 2 guys in it, I don't recognize any of them. Great, we want that call. You work in Woodridge. You don't work on the west side of Chicago. We are not that busy. We want to come out at 6:30 in the morning and say, hey, we talked to them. It turns out, they're waiting on a ride. They're 2 of the truck guys and they're waiting on a ride. We identified them. Do you want them out of here? Oh, no, that's fine. Thank you. So we give you peace of mind. We have peace of mind. Because what we don't want at the end is, yeah, okay, that was a real scary thing and the guy came in and he left and how many people are hurt and well, this is weird. Yeah, I saw that Impala out there, it's crazy. What? Yeah, this morning at 6:30, yeah, I saw the car and I don't know what to do. Call us, okay? Think about these things, have them running through your brain, what belongs, what doesn't. See something, say something, okay? Have a plan in your head so that when something happens, I know what I'm gonna do, as opposed to, oh my God, what's going on? Okay, that will help a long way. So if you get nothing else out of this, please think of that. For me personally, at my business, here is what I'm gonna do, okay? And have that plan and share it with each other. Yes?
So in the case of the counter, and the person's on the ground and the gun is suddenly free, what would be his recommendation? How would be that handle the weapon?
Just put a garbage can over it. Put whatever. Yeah, you got like a bag or something? Great. Hey, I got a laptop. I'm just gonna put that on top or next to it. Police come in, yeah, we do not want, hey, we got him, officer, it's great, we took, okay? We don't know who you are, we don't know what we're walking into. So if I walk in and I see 4 guys holding 1 guy down, great. Then someone's yelling, officer, that's him, the weapon's right there, the gun's right there. We put it in the trash can, it's under the trash can. Do something like that.
You don't want us clearing or anything, though, right?
No,
You want to touch it.
correct. Don't touch it at all, then you're also the bad guy. We did that with one of our officers a long time ago because he touched something at a crime scene. And
Don't.
his print actually came back, so we had a lot of fun with him for a while. But don't touch it. Yep. Even if you're weapons savvy and you know how to leave it alone. It's under the garbage can. We got it away from him. He's secured. He's detained. We'll cuff him and an officer will go get the weapon. Any other questions? Yes.
When we're running out of here and you're already here, just,
Simple hands up. Yep.
and you guys will.
Yep. Yeah, so follow our direction. When you run out, I'm going to my car. I'm getting out of here. I just called my husband. I'm going home. Whoa, no, whoa. What happened? Where are you going? Here. I want you to go over here with this officer. No, I'm leaving. No. Relax. Calm down. Go over here with this officer. Okay? If you have any information to share, share it. Okay? But that's going to be real quick and real brief. And when we do the rapid response stuff in the schools, we tell the teachers that. Okay? You're shot and you're playing a victim, and we walk in and sometimes they'll wear a sign or sometimes we'll give them some words to say as like a little actor or something. And your job is you're shot in the leg and you're just going to tell you're going to try to stop the officer. Try to stop him. Say, help me, and grab his arm and stuff. We're not going to stop, okay? When we arrive on scene, our #1 goal is to eliminate the threat. Our #1 goal is to not render first aid. Our #1 goal is to get information, go find the bad guy, and eliminate the threat. The end. The guys coming after us are going to help you. The guys coming after us, that's why we encourage, self-aid, buddy aid, stop the bleed, safety devices and things like that, and training for you guys. But when you're running out with your hands up, hey, where's he at? He's in the warehouse. I think he's in the warehouse. Good, thank you. That's all we need from you. We don't need a detailed discussion. An officer's going to talk to you over there. We're going to get you to safety. We're going to continue on our way. Yes.
Say you run into them like in that main hallway on this floor. You don't have anything in your hands, you have nothing, it's just you and the guy, or you and the person. What are your suggestions for trying to evacuate people? Like, are you trying to like run zigzag? Like what is
Serpentine, the
your,
alligator
what
thing.
is your
I like
option here?
The option is you're face to face with a man trying to kill you. You're going to do whatever you need to do. And if your reaction is, I'm going to turn around and run, good. Yeah, would I run in a straight line? No, I probably wouldn't, okay? I try to duck left and right as soon as I could. Or your option is, there he is. This is it. What am I going to do? Okay? If I have my phone in my pocket, if I'm holding that water thing is getting thrown at him. All right? Even something as simple as that, you throw that at him, he's going to have to move. That's going to save you a second or two. And maybe a second or two is all you need to give him a push once you pass by and get down the stairwell, something like that. Yes.
What are the attackers being countered? We have one weapon.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So what are the attackers being countered? And then he has more than one weapon.
Again, you got to take it what it is. We got the bad guy. We got his gun. You got it. You got it. All of a sudden, he's reaching. He's pulling out a knife from his pocket. That you have to adapt on the fly. Okay. That's why when you're getting them, it's grab the forelimbs. That's what we try to tell people as much as possible. Grab the forelimbs. Okay. So that way, hey, he may have another weapon. We don't know it. The officer may not know it. But if I walk in and you guys have him like this, we're not just going to go, good job, get up, cuff, case closed. No, we're not going to trust you or believe you. We don't trust or believe each other. If I pick up, someone gets an arrest, and I'm going to transport that guy. I didn't do the arrest. I didn't do the search. I didn't do the handcuffing. I show up, and I'm just the car that's going to take him to jail. When I get out of my car, we research, okay? And we try to tell the other officer, don't take it, that's a part of our training. Don't take it personally. He's getting in my car. I'm going to research him again. I'm sure you did a good job. But it's just like with that, hey, we got the gun. Let's keep the arms and legs prone. If he has another weapon on him, you don't know. You don't have to know because he can't get to it. Okay? You just don't relax. You just keep the arms prone until help arrives. Hey, we got him. You're not moving. Eventually, he'll wear himself out. We walk in. Great. We'll cuff. And then we are going to do another search as well. And go, hey, guys, good job. We found a knife in his pocket or another gun in his waistband. Excellent job holding him down. So, can you plan for that? No. But you just have to react to it and do what you can in the moment.
If it's obvious, do we remove it?
Louder?
If it's obvious, do we remove it?
No.
No.
If he can't get it, there's no need to remove it. And then when we get there, officer, he has something in his waistband. Okay, we saw the butt of a gun. We got a gun over there, but he has another one. I know he has another one. Tell us that. Good. Thank you. He's searched, he's cuffed, he's searched, we get the weapon. Anything else?
The first things you had was the kids underneath the deck. Obviously, from years past, that was for obviously storms, tornadoes, stuff like that. Obviously, that was trained to do that because of the fact they didn't want you going outside of the building because it was safer inside the building.
Right.
In the event of a storm or a tornado or any kind of a hurricane if you're in that area. But now you have to also determine if it's something different like that, then now you have to just actually leave the building. Now,
Yeah.
Because it's not a storm, okay, so now the opposite way to go.
Yeah, and not having any training, that's how they react. If you have training and you're better at this and you're more adept at this and you have the brain in your head, I bet you not everybody in that building did that. I bet you there's a bunch of people in that building that's like, I'm leaving. I'm going out that door. He's over there, I'm going out that door. I'm going back to my dorm, I'm getting my car, I'm going to my house. But yeah, when you're not trained, unfortunately, that's how people react sometimes. You revert back to what you know. Anybody else? All right, Chrissy's got my email, my phone number. Thank you guys very much for your time. I appreciate you having me out.
Thank you very much.